Hello, my amazing tribe. I'm excited to connect with you through this video. Welcome, everyone, to our latest video where we'll be exploring Oldland Mill, Keymer. Oldland Windmill is an 18th post mill situated near the village of Keymer, West Sussex, England. It is a Grade II listed building. As we enter this new phase, let's navigate the complexities of history and discover its practical applications. Oldland Windmill was built. The earliest record of a windmill in the area dates from 1703. It was originally an open trestle mill, with the roundhouse being added later. Records show that a mill stood in Keymer in 1755, and the mill was marked on a map dated 1783, but it is not shown on one dated 1795. The 1801 National Defence Schedule records the mill, but the 1813 Ordnance Survey and Greenwood's 1829 map omit the mill. However, the larger-scale surveyor's draft of the Ordnance Survey does show the mill. Records show that the mill was standing in 1828. Oldland Mill was working by wind until 1912. The mill began to fall into disrepair in the early part of the 20th century and continued to deteriorate. The Sussex Archaeological Society acquired the mill in 1927 and repairs were carried out by East Hull and Sons of Burgess Hill in 1934. In 1976, at the annual general meeting of the Sussex Amenity Association, there was a talk was given on the work of Weald and Downland Open Air Museum. The question of how to preserve Oldland Mill was raised. The mill was then in the ownership of the Sussex Archaeological Society. The mill was surveyed in 1977 by millites Vincent Pargeter and Edwin Hull and found to be close to collapse. Following negotiations with the Sussex Archaeological Society in 1979, the Sussex Amenity Association leased the mill in 1980 and began a period of volunteer-led restoration. Since then, the mill has benefited from a DEFR grant and substantial work has been completed, almost entirely carried out by volunteers. The mill was stripped to her bare essentials and many new parts completely and accurately built from scratch to replace rotten parts. The whole mill has been reclaimed and as of 18 October 2007 the 4 sweeps had been lifted into position. The mill ground its first batch of corn for many decades in October 2008, and following detailed commissioning the windmill now grinds flour regularly, being one of the few windmills registered for flour sales in Sussex. It is Sussex's oldest working windmill and today the mill is looked after by the volunteers of Oldland Mill Trust, a registered charity which owns the mill. The original auxiliary drive system was restored and commissioned in 2015 when steam power was used to drive the mill for the first time in over 100 years. Moving ahead, let's uncover the hidden gems within restoration and discover their significance. The first working party on to August 1980 cleared rubbish around the mill and made a temporary repair to the roof of the roundhouse. In 1981, the 2 remaining sweeps and stock were removed with the assistance of sailors from HMS Daedalus. In 1983, a frame was constructed to support the windshift. The mill was restored over the next 10 years, with much of the framing being replaced, including the trestle, crown tree, breast, tail and side frames. A new 8-foot diameter clasp arm head wheel and brake was constructed in 2006. The head wheel is of elm with hornbeam cogs and oak arms. Turning our focus to description, let's explore its key elements. Oldland Mill is a post mill on a single-story octagonal roundhouse, constructed of tarred brick with weatherboarding above. It has 4 spring sweeps and is winded by a tailpole. The windshift is cast iron and was cast by Baz Medhurst, the Lewes Millerite, in 1873. There are 2 pairs of millstones, arranged head and tail. Now, let's shift our attention to millers. George Bennett 1828, Joseph Roots Beard 1828, 1840, Joseph Winchester 1860, Thomas Ashdown 1860, 1869, Jesse Washington White 1869, 1891, John Turner -1000, 895, John White 1904, David Driver 1912. Reference for above list is sourced from research carried out by volunteers of Oldland Mill. See Oldland Mill website. In this section, we'll be peeling back the layers of gallery to reveal its true essence. File Oldland Mill. The mill in November 2007. A major Oldland Mill from the South Downs. Oldland Mill in the context of its surrounding countryside. File Oldland Mill granary. The original granary for the mill, February 9. File review of Oldland Mill. Review of the mill in February 2009. File Oldland Mill. Oldland Mill in 2008. Kaku industrial buildings completed in 1700. Kaku windmills in West Sussex. Kaku tourist attractions in West Sussex. Kaku post mills in the United Kingdom. Kaku museums in West Sussex. Kaku mill museums in England. Kaku charities based in West Sussex. Kaku establishments in England. Kaku grade I listed buildings in West Sussex. Kaku mid Sussex district. I'm here to provide you with the best information, so let me know what else you'd like to learn about.